Hello everyone, welcome to day 18 of prelims warm-up. This initiative has been brought to you by Aptiplus Academy for Civil Services. In this initiative, we are discussing the most probable topics which can come in the upcoming UPSC prelims 2020. I am Shayak Datta, the faculty for Geography and Environment at Aptiplus Academy for Civil Services. So let us start with the first question for the day. The first question is, which of the following has become the first species to be officially declared threatened due to deep sea mining? So which of the following species it has become the first species to be officially declared threatened due to deep sea mining? Option A, jellyfish. Option B, scaly foot snail. Option C, seahorse. And option D, humpback anglerfish. So out of the given options, we can get to see that it is option B, scaly foot snail, which has officially become the first species to be declared as threatened due to the effects of deep sea mining. So a rare snail species, which is called as scaly foot snail, also sometimes referred to as sea pangolin, which is only found at 3 spots on the Indian Ocean floor near Madagascar, that has become the very first species to be officially declared threatened due to deep sea mining. So this deep sea mining has considerable impact on such bottom dwelling creatures, benthic creatures. So we get to see scaly foot snail is one such creature which has become threatened due to deep sea mining. And if you want to know more about this particular species, you can visit this link from where I have taken this particular topic. So this is with regards to the first question, scaly foot snail. Moving on to the second question, consider the following statements about the Forest Conservation Act 1980. So the second question is with regards to the Forest Conservation Act 1980. The first statement says that it was enacted for providing a higher level of protection to forests and to regulate diversion of forest land for non-forestry purposes. So the first statement says that it was enacted, Forest Conservation Act 1980. It was enacted for providing a higher level of protection to forests and to regulate the diversion of forest land for non-forestry purposes. The second statement says that it gives the state governments the absolute power for de-reservation or for diversion of forest land for non-forestry purposes, and we have to select the correct option out of the following. So we get to see out of the given two statements, the first statement is actually correct. Okay, it was enacted for providing a higher level of protection to forests and to regulate diversion of forest land for non-forestry purposes. So that is correct. But the second statement that is there, okay, it gives the state governments the absolute power, that is incorrect, because it does depend upon the central government, the union government, to decide whether there will be forest clearance and whether the de-reservation or diversion of forest land can take place for non-forestry purposes. So out of the given two statements, the first statement is correct, the second statement is incorrect. So we get to see 2A should be the right answer. Let us see. This answer is A, and as per the Forest Conservation Act 1980, prior permission or approval of the central government is essential for de-reservation or diversion of forest land for non-forestry purposes. Okay, and if you want to know more about it, you can go to this particular link where you can learn more about this entire topic of Forest Conservation Act 1980. Again, it is an important legislation, just like we have the Conservation of Wildlife or Wildlife Protection Act of 1972. That is also an important legislation. Like so, similarly, an important legislation is the Forest Conservation Act 1980. Moving on to the third question that we have. The third question is with regards to Sundarbans, and we have two statements. The first statement says that Sundarbans, they host the world's largest mangrove forest and a rich ecosystem which is shared between India and Bangladesh. World's largest mangrove forest and a rich ecosystem shared between India and Bangladesh. So is that correct? Yes, it is correct. The second statement, they are the only mangrove forest in the world where Bengal tigers are found. Now that is also correct because it is the only mangrove forest which actually houses Bengal tigers. And similarly, we also get to see that there are other importances of Sundarbans as well. Okay, not only it is a tiger reserve, it is also a national park, and you have a number of wildlife sanctuaries all along Sundarbans. Similarly, recently it has also been declared as a Ramsar site, and hence it has become the largest Ramsar site in India. Okay. Apart from that, it is also a natural world heritage site. So there are multiple tags given to Sundarbans. It is a very important site. Plus, along with that, you can also get to see that Sundarbans, it is also an example of a biosphere reserve. Okay. So read up more on Sundarbans. I believe C should be the correct answer. Answer should be C. And if you want to know more about Sundarbans, you can visit this particular link of WWF, where you will get to know more about it. Okay. Mangrove forest is also an important topic. Mangroves are an example of wetland, halophytic vegetation. So do read up a little bit on mangroves, the adaptations which are adopted by mangroves to survive in such kind of saline environment. So the kind of adaptations, pneumatophores and viviparous germination, these kind of things you should also be aware of. Moving on to the fourth question that we have. The fourth question is with regards to Ramsar site and the state in which they are located. So you have Hokera wetland, and the state given is Punjab. Similarly, you have Kanji wetland, state given is Jammu and Kashmir, and you have Bhoj wetland, and the state is Madhya Pradesh. So out of the given options, we get to see it is only option C, Bhoj wetland, which has been correctly matched. So 4C should be the right answer, because the first two, they have been interchanged. So when it comes to Hokera wetland, that is found in Jammu and Kashmir. On the other hand, if you are talking about Kanji wetland, it is found in Punjab. So the first two options, the first two statements, they were interchanged, but the third one has been correctly matched. So the answer should be 4C, 3 only. And again, this particular question becomes important because India added 10 more Ramsar sites to its already existing list. So you should be aware about the Ramsar sites which are present in India, and especially the new ones which have got added. Okay. So for this particular question, answer is C. 4C is the right answer. Moving on to question number 5. Question number 5 is with regards to a campaign called as Fit India. So we have a Fit India school grading system. Fit India school grading system, and this was launched in schools across the country. There are two statements, and you have to select the right one. Right one with respect to this Fit India school grading system. So the following statements you have to select whether they are correct or incorrect. First statement is the level of ranking will depend on how much importance a school gives towards inculcating fitness among its students as well as teachers. That is the first statement. How much importance is given by a school in inculcating fitness among its students and teachers, that is the first criteria, or the first parameter you can say. The second parameter, Fit India school rankings. Fit India school rankings, they are divided into 5 categories like 1 star, 2 star, 3 star, 4 star and 5 star. So these are the two statements which are given, and we have to select the correct one. So out of the given statements, we get to see the first statement is definitely correct, but the second statement is incorrect, because when we talk about Fit India school ranking system, there are only 3 categories which are there. So answer should ideally be A. A means the first statement is correct, so A should be the right answer. And the second statement is incorrect because there are only 3 categories. So Fit India school rankings is divided into 3 categories. So we have a 1 star, we have a 3 star, and we have 5 star. And if you want to know more about this particular initiative, you can visit this particular link from the Hindu Business Line. This is the article from which the question has been taken. Okay. So these are the 5 important topics for the upcoming UPSC Prelims 2020. And please go through the various links and read more on these topics, and the extra information you can note down over here. I have kept a separate page for you to take down the self notes. So we'll meet again in a new video with a new set of topics. Till then, comment, like, subscribe and share Apti Plus Academy's YouTube channel for more such informative videos. So till then, stay safe and take care.